Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to show you guys my everyday makeup routine. This is a very easy routine. It's not like crazy, it's not full glam, but it does give you a very sculpted look while not being like too over the top. This is what I use pretty much every day when I go to work or anywhere. There's no like concealing or baking or anything like that. It's, again, very simple. So let's get started. So I have already cleansed my face and applied my vitamin C serum and my moisturizer and SPF, and that's been sitting in for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to first prime my skin, and I'm going to be using two primers. The first one that I'm going to be using is from Makeup Forever, and it's the Skin Equalizer Smoothing Primer. They have so many primers now from Makeup Forever, and they're all amazing. I've gotten samples of, I think, all of them with the exception of two, and they're all incredible. And the coolest thing about them is you can actually mix them with other primers. The formulation doesn't break up or get chunky, so that is excellent. So I'm going to be taking the smoothing primer, and I'm going to be squeezing out about a pea-size amount onto my hand, like so. This is a silicone-based primer, so I was actually very surprised that it does mix with other primers that are not silicone-based, but that's a plus. So I'm going to be also adding in the Becca Backlight priming filter and doing about one pump, just like that, and I'm just going to mix that in my hand, make a little primer cocktail, get my hair out of the way. Oh, and yes, I have gone silver. If you guys didn't know, from my Instagram and Snapchat, I've gone silver. I'm loving it. My hair feels like crap though, it's so dry from the bleach, but that's okay. This whole thing is going to be shaved down and black again because this is like brassy from when it was blonde. But anyway, so I'm just going to press this into the skin, like so, and then smooth it out. With silicone primers, you definitely want to press them into the skin because that will fill in your pores. Anything that's silicone based, you want to press in. And now I'm going to go in with foundation, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation in the shade 220. Normally I'm 230, but I'm a little bit pale right now because it's winter. And I'm going to tap out just a tiny, oh my god, I'm going to try to do a tiny bit, which did not happen. So you don't need that much, but anyway, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to add a pump or two of the Becca Backlight Priming Filter and mix this in the back of my hand. I'm all about a dewy finish, guys, but I like that the matte formulation of the foundation keeps me from getting oily, but this primer still keeps me dewy. So I'm going to take my beauty blender and my trusty Maybelline, and I'm just going to pat this in and around the skin, doing a very sheer layer at first. And with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, you're not going to get full coverage with this foundation because it does dilute it a little bit, but that's kind of what I like. I do not like full coverage foundation pretty much any time. And as you can see, it's really helping to even out my skin tone and covering up the scars a little bit. I generally never do concealer over my scars because all of my friends know that I have scarring, so if I cover it up, they're gonna be like, oh, well, you have tons of makeup on today. So I generally don't cover scars up, but if you do have a lot of hyperpigmentation or hypopigmentation, definitely use a concealer before or after this step if you'd like. But I very much so enjoy a sheer natural finish, so I'm not really going in with concealer or anything like that. Whatever the foundation covers, that's gonna be my coverage. So leaving it at that. Alright, so next I'm going to just set this area with powder. That's where I tend to get the most oily throughout the day, so I am going to take the Coty Airspun, my favorite setting powder. It's my favorite setting powder just in general, even like high-end or not high-end, because it's so cheap and it gets the job done. So I don't really see any point in spending tons of money to get other setting powders like the Laura Mercier that's super expensive. The Makeup Forever HD, though, that is one exception. That one I do, that one I justify the price because it's really good for photo shoot makeup. So Yeah. So after I have set that area, I'm just gonna brush away the powder. Again, I'm not really baking, I'm just setting that so I don't get oily. And done. And now we're going to bronze the face. I'm going to be using MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in the shade Medium Deep, right? Medium Dark. This is the old packaging. This is a couple years old, but it's still going strong. I haven't hit pan yet. And I'm taking a gigantic Bdellium Tools powder brush, and I'm just going to dip, 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 dip. And I'm going to hit the perimeters of my face. Focus. I'm going to hit the perimeters of my face like so. Go down the neck, don't forget to go down the neck. Now we're going to do blush, and I know this is kind of backwards. A lot of people don't do blush now, but yeah, now. Do whatever you want with makeup. So I'm going to start going in with my blush. I'm going to be using Luminoso by Milani. This is one of my favorite blushes recently. Same brush, really easy. We're not going crazy today. Pack that on. And I'm just going to like sweep this right along the apples of the cheek and where my contour would be. Done. I'm going to take a little bit more, tap it off. And then I'm going to contour. A lot of people don't do blush before their contour, but I like to do it before, just because then my contour blends out the blush a little bit. If I applied it too heavily, like right here, I did apply it a little heavy-handedly. So I'm then going to be taking a contour shade from the LA Colors I Love Makeup Contour Palette. And this I picked up at a like beauty supply store in downtown, and it was like $1 or something, but it looks like this. It is amazing. I've been loving it so much. It has a huge range of colors. These are a little bit warm to contour with, so I would use these more as bronzers, but this shade is awesome. It's a total dupe for the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder if you guys don't want to shell out the $42 for that. It's a little bit more warm than the Kevyn Aucoin, but it gets the job done. So I'm just dipping my Bestope angled brush that was sent to me from the company Bestope, and I'm just going to contour the cheeks. My cheekbones. So I'm going to start this right at the corner of the ear. That's where you really want the contour to be the darkest. And blend up, and then blend down into the cheek. Just like that. And then go along the jawline, just to sculpt that out. I love this powder. You don't need a lot either. It's pretty pigmented, but it's not going to be like leaving a stripe of contour on your face. And again, starting at the corner of the ear, blending up, and then blending down into your jaw. Into your cheekbone. Just like that. Then I'm going to be taking my giant Sephora 24 karat gold mine set. What is this called? The Complexion Perfector brush. It's this giant flat top kabuki brush. And I'm going to be taking this tan peach shade from that palette, and I'm just working the product into the brush. And I'm just going to use this to carve out my contour a little bit. Just like that. And then take that big brush again, or whatever you want, and just brush that away. Alright, now we're going to do my nose and highlight and contour the nose. So I'm going to be taking this flat, what is this called? The S45 brush from the Coastal Scents Elite brush set. This is one of my favorite contouring brushes. And I'm going to be taking the banana shade right here first. And I'm just going to go right down the bridge of the nose, just to highlight that. Like so. And then I'm also going to take a little dot of Champagne Pop put that right on the center, like so, just to highlight the tip. Just like that. Then we're going to take that same contour shade on this brush right here, and we're just going to contour the nose. So when contouring the nose, it really depends on your nose shape. I like to start at the brow first and define that like upper area right here, and then bring it down. And you don't want to go like this, you want to just use downward strokes. So every time that I go down, I'm lifting the brush off my face and placing it back down. I'm not going like this. So even though it looks like that, I'm lifting the brush each time. And that's just going to ensure that you have your contour going in the same direction. It's not going to be all crazy. So just define this as much as you'd like. And don't forget to blend down the sides so there's no demarcation. Just like that. So as you can see, I have a nice shade to the side of my nose. Go along the tip. And I usually will like flare my nose out just so I can get underneath it. And that's going to lift the nose, so that's going to make it look like your nose doesn't slope down and it goes more up and pointed. And there we go. New nose. And now we're going to move on to brows. So for my brows, I can't find my Sigma brow powder, so I'm going to be using the Becca Ombre Nudes palette and using the darkest shade. And I'm using a Morphe MB32 angled liner brush. And I'm just going to go right into my brows, focusing the color on the tail, on the outside. Like so. And then with whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to go right into the inner portion of the brow, because that's where you want it to be more sparse. You don't want like a line of powder on your face. You want it to fade. So darkest to lightest, lightest to darkest, okay? I'm going to do the other brow. And then brows are done. Alright, and that's just going to give a little bit of definition. So now I'm going to go in and do my mascara, and I will zoom in for that. Alright, so I'm going to be taking my trusty Shu Uemura S curler. You guys know this is the best eyelash curler of life. And we're just going to curl the lashes. Alright, so the lashes are curled. Now we're going to go in with mascara. And I'm going to be using the bareMinerals Flawless Definition Mascara. And then I'm going to go in with my Stila All Day Liquid Liner, and I'm just going to run that in my waterline on the upper lashes. And this is going to add definition to the lash line without like having eyeliner on the top line. On your lash line, I mean. Alright, so the eyes are done. Now I'm going to highlight my face. And I'm going to be using the Becca Champagne Pop and this little brush right here from Bestow. This is an other set that I tried a long time ago. And I'm just going to hit that right there. You can see that right on the brow bone as well. Alright, so that concludes the look, guys. We're just going to set the face using the Maybelline Master Fix by Face Studio. By Face Studio. I don't know. Anyway, this is basically the exact same thing as the L'Oreal Infallible Setting Spray, and it's a little bit cheaper too, so definitely check this out if you guys are looking for good setting spray. I'm gonna literally spray so much that my face gets wet. I usually do about like 12 sprays, which is excessive, but you'll see why. Alright, so once my face has been sprayed and it's all wet, I'm just going to take my beauty blender and go over everything. And this is just going to make everything really seamless and blended. And then it'll help absorb any excess setting spray. Alright guys, so this concludes my everyday makeup look. I hope this was helpful to you guys if you were looking for any new products or any new techniques to enhance your everyday makeup repertoire. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. If you guys have any recommendations for what you want to see, leave me a comment in the bar down below, like in the comment bar down below. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye.